Hey everybody, welcome back to the Collector's Outpost. I am John. Today we're going to take a look at the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Ahsoka Tano from Clone Wars. Now I know many of us were kind of getting to the point where we were like, is this figure ever coming out? But either way, here it is. Let's start digging in and getting this first layer of the box open and take a look at this awesome figure. So underneath the box, we've got that movie-style poster, which I always really love, and this is no exception. I really like this one. Moving on down to the first layer of some stuff. There, we've got some cool accessories. I have not opened this before this video, so this is the first time I'm seeing all of this stuff. A lot of times I do like to just open the box and get all the plastics and everything off, but this time I just wanted to do this whole process on camera so you can see how these figures come. They're wrapped in so many different plastics and everything so that nothing gets scratched and paint doesn't transfer. Alright, here she is. This looks great, I gotta say. I really like this one. These things are rubbery and it feels like they have wires in there, so I think we're going to be able to move them out of the way and pose them, and hopefully they won't hinder head movement too much, but we'll see on that. Now, taking a look at the fabric here, I thought this was going to be some sort of leather, but it's more of a rubbery type of material, more like almost like a thin membrane, which I'm hoping will hold up a lot better than pleather over the years. Then we've got this kind of spandexy kind of material around the legs. And then down here we've got the pleather boots, which I don't know why they keep going with this. So she's got a handful of accessories. We've got holograms and projector and a detonator and a few hands, and we've got the swooshy things, both of her lightsabers, and a really nice cloak, which maybe I'll wind up using. And taking a look at the stand, there's really nothing to see here. It's the same old typical Star Wars stand we get, and it comes with that typical little waist clip. I don't know why they always give us these things. I don't like them. I really hate that they're constantly pushing up against the materials and stuff like that. I do, however, have a bunch of spare crotch grabber ones, so I think I'm just going to swap this out. Yeah, so I'm digging this a lot more, so I'm just going to go with this since I had this laying around. So she came with 3 holograms. We have an Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we have Anakin Skywalker, and we have Master Yoda. They also gave us one of those little thermal detonator thingies, and the hologram projector. Now, for some reason, I like these things so much. I really think that looks really cool, and I like setting them up for photos with these things, but then I never use it. And looking at her lightless lightsabers, I think these are done so well. They're a slight variation on each other. They're not exactly the same. They are 2 different sizes, but there are just a couple of little things that are different on them, so they're not duplicates of themselves. We have some basic little weathering and pitting going on around here. You can see that with all the scratches and dents and stuff that they painted on there. And as always, we get the motion effect lightsaber. I swear to myself, I will use these in a pose for the display one day. And last but not least, they gave us a really nice cloak, which you'll probably remember from the Clone Wars. They did a very nice job painting the hands and weathering up the armor here a little bit. You can see some of the scratches and pitting and stuff over there. Okay, here's one thing I don't understand. Along with the 2 hands she has on, they gave us a full 3.5 sets of hands. Why did they not include a left-hand fist? And then we've got this little contraption, which I'll show you how this works. This goes in her head and moves her eyeballs around her face. Okay, now let's talk about something I can't stand. I was fiddling with this piece here. This is the cover tech clip where the lightsabers go in. See them on both sides. You actually have to pull this out and insert this little peg here. You can see that. Those 2 pegs go into her leg, and then you have to grab a lightsaber. You see the little cover tech clip here? You actually have to remove that and replace it, and there it goes. It's probably lost forever. Okay, I'll look for that in a second. It's got to be around here. But you take this little peg thing and you push that right into where the cover tech was, and then you have to remove the piece from the figure and push this into her leg without breaking this stupid little peg. So I have a solution for this, Hot Toys. Listen, make the hilt metal. Make this side thingy a magnet, and boom, magnetize it to it. This is a stupid design, and it's just screaming, break me. Alright, let's take a look at Ahsoka herself. I really like this figure. I didn't know if I would from the original photos. I was like, it doesn't look like Ahsoka from the show. It's too based in reality, but I really, really like this figure. It has a mix of what Ahsoka looked like in the show and Rosario Dawson. I mean, I do see her in there a little bit. One of the first things you may notice about this figure is Even though it's based on a humanized version, there's not loads and loads of skin texture, because it's also based on an animated series, which an animated character does have basically flawless skin that almost looks porcelain. I think they did a very good job with that here. So we've got a couple of different fabrics that they're using here. We've got this rubbery synthetic material for the dress, a more natural fabric piece for this part over here, and the typical plastics for the belts and armor pieces and gauntlets and stuff. Now the material does bunch up a little bit around the waist, but I also feel like it does make it look very natural. We've got some nice weathering around the armor pieces and the gauntlets. And moving downwards, we've got the knee guards and shin guards and foot guards and those annoying pleather boots. I just don't understand why they don't just sculpt the boots and give us that split boot cut that they've been doing on a bunch of the figures. They're just gonna hold up over time like that. Now, don't get me wrong, the pleather boots look great. I mean, they look like real boots. But over time, they may degrade, you know? Over here on the shin guards, you will see some nice weathering and pitting around the edges and the front there. And that goes all the way down to the ends of the foot guards. You can see the weathering and pitting around there. So I just want to show you this. They do recommend, because these are silicone arms, not to leave them in dynamic poses for too long. They may crease, they may split, it's hard to say. I mean, this is silicone and it probably will degrade over time. And then we have the moving eyes, which we'll show you how to do here. You just pull the face right out, and you use that little gadget to move our eyes around. So let's pull that out and show you how to do that. Alright, so what we're going to want to do is decapitate Ahsoka and rip her face right off. It's very simple. It's just in there a little snug, so just give a little pull. And then look inside her face, and you'll see those two little nubbin pieces, which are the back of the eyeballs. Right? So very simple. We're going to grab that little tool, and we're just going to stuff that right in there, and just move the eyes around a little bit. Now I do want her looking off to her left, so we're just going to nudge these over, and you do have to be careful when you're doing this, because you want to make sure that the eyes line up correctly, or she's going to look like she has a lazy eye or a cross-eyed, and it gets really wonky really fast. And if you look inside, it's very simple. They're just magnets, which I wish they would have done with the lightsabers, but they're magnets and they just click right into each other. And there we go, it's pretty simple. I might readjust the eyes just another hair. Not 100% sure. As soon as I put this in the display, I'll take a peek and see if it bothers me, but I think this is pretty darn good. Alright, now the last thing we're going to take a look at is her cloak. So right up front, you'll see that there is a button. This does come buttoned, so just be very careful when you unbutton it. It fits perfectly around the top of the horns here and shapes around her head. Now we can kind of adjust things because they gave us a wire that kind of just lines the edges here. So you'll be able to kind of wrap this around and adjust some of these pieces here and try to make the cloak very dynamic, like it's blowing in the wind. But they made it very thin. They always give us these really thin wires, and they fall and they can't hold the weight. Even though that this cloak is a very thin material, it still just doesn't hold the weight very well. I don't understand why they just can't put a thicker wire. One other problem is that there's no wire at the bottom, so you can't really shape this into doing all that much how you want it to look. So you're limited to just that front and around the head. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that will sit and finagle with this thing and get this thing to look awesome. I do just wish that the wire was stronger and that there was a wire all the way around the bottom. Overall, I am super happy I was able to get my hands on this figure. I really like it. This is going to look great on the shelf. I'm not sure if I want to put her as part of the Girls of Star Wars section or if I want to put her with Anakin. I am going to have to make some serious decisions here. Anyway, let me know what you all think about this figure down below in the comments. Alright everybody, that's about it for this figure. If you enjoyed this video, please drop down below, subscribe, like, share, hit that notification button, leave some comments. It all helps this channel grow. Thank you all again for coming to hang out on my channel with me, and as always, I'll see you on the next video. Be kind and safe out there in the world.